Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight we got some live action here for the CSRL Casual Sim Racers League GT Series from Suzuka across the pond here. And speaking of pond, could see a little bit of wetness here tonight. There is some rain in the forecast. We'll see if it actually hits the track, if it's anything major, if it's something where they have to possibly come in and use some wet tires, or if they just kind of tough it out here and see if they can make it through the slick conditions. But either way, it's going to be a good one. 45 minutes on tap once again here for round number 3. Portland, we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Cobert. Jimmy, we've certainly had some races here at Suzuka. We've seen some completely dry. We've seen some completely wet. This one may be a little bit somewhere in between.
Yeah, that's gonna really throw drivers off just a tad if if the rain does decide to come down here tonight. It might force some drivers, like you said, to possibly come in and change them tires to some wet tires. It really just depends on how bad the rainfall is and how wet the track gets. You do have basically when it's wet, you get basically zero traction. I know one of the things that we've seen in the past is that pit lane exit line that comes across the racetrack. If you hit that with wet tires, you go for a ride. I can only imagine if they're on grass.
Yeah, it was certainly interesting last season when the drivers, we've seen 3 or 4 of them last season here coming out of the pits and just snapping loose, and after the race, they're kind of wondering what's going on, and until we clued them in and said, we kind of had an exact eye on that and seeing exactly what happened. It was just touching those little white lines, and you don't think much of it. I mean, you're obviously out there, as a driver when it's raining and when it's wet out on the track. You're looking for the puddles. You're looking to avoid the puddles. The paint on the track, you want to avoid it on the edges of the track, but you never really think about the pit exit lines being an issue, but they certainly were. Take a look at the point standings here coming in to tonight after the 3 races. If they decide to pop up here. There we go. And it is Colin Winslow on top of the boards by 4 points over Craig Jancic after a real nice run last week. Rich Petrucco back there in 3rd place. Chris Hamilton and Devin Young making up your top 5 over in the AM class. Eli Singh still top of the boards by a nice 11-point cushion over Brandon Powell, last week's winner. Christian Ortiz-Torres with a podium last week moved himself into 3rd place in the points, and then Glenn Lazan, Brandon Potts for your top 5. But it's been some pretty good races so far for the first couple of races of the season. And again, at the last time we were here with CSRL, it was just a wet and wild Suzuka. So I would expect these drivers to really want to get after. I mean, take a look at the weather right now. It's fine. I mean, it's a nice little 79 degrees on the track, plenty of grip. 13-mile-an-hour winds. It's one thing that we don't really talk about really that much is the winds. But the winds definitely make a little bit of a factor depending on where they're blowing and, kind of what corners they're blowing across, and then really can upset the cars.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, think about the winds very often, and it's something that, obviously you should, because it can really affect the way that car handles when it comes across the racetrack, whether, if you're going down the front stretch, down in turn 1, if you got tailwinds, you might want to brake just a little bit earlier as you're getting a little bit of a push. So your car might end up being a little tighter, and or if it's the other way around, where it's, basically at the front of your car, it's slow you down a lot faster, so you want to brake maybe a little bit later. So there's a lot of things to take in consideration when it comes to rain. I've really been kind of trying to find, I'm big on the whole overlay stuff when you're driving a car, because you don't have an actual crew chief that will tell you these things when you're driving to talk to you. So, but looking for that wind overlay is still up in hand. I know where there's one, but I do not want to run another whole overlay system that I already don't need to. So, but right now we're getting winded down here. Looks like qualifying is done, so we need to go ahead and run down who's where for this race.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, as a driver, you look at all the typical things you're looking at. Is it the tire wear? Is that why I'm pushing through this corner? Is it because it's the track temperature? Is it the wear state on the track? How much rubber is actually put down on the track? But yeah, it's that last little factor that could be changing everything. I mean, if you don't look and all of a sudden you know, it's 20-mile-an-hour winds on the track, it's going to affect it a little bit. I mean, if you're out there and it's only, you know, 1 to 5 miles an hour, you're probably not going to notice any kind of difference. But when it's ripping, it'll be ripping right off the track if you're not paying attention. But these drivers just about finished up with qualifying. Looks like we got 31 drivers on tap here tonight looking to take the green flag, and the typical, you know, all around the world. You know, we got drivers from all over the place, obviously, you know, predominantly from the U.S., but we got some Canadian drivers out there. We got René de Lima from Brazil, and then we got Marco Chacon and Dan Morera. And I know I looked it up before, but for some reason I'm blanking on the flag. I'll have to double check and see where those two drivers are from. But yeah, I mean, all over the place, and it's one thing that's pretty cool. It's you don't see it too often because, you know, typically drivers from, you know, around the world, they'll drive in, you know, kind of their time slot. Like obviously, you know, right now it's 8 o'clock in the morning for Australia, so you're not going to be, you know, most likely going to be driving in the session here unless you work a certain, you know, different shift that just works out. So typically you're just going to see you know, US and Canada and sometimes, you know, South America coming in here, obviously, like we said with René de Lima. But we are done with qualifying, so let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's results. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown?
Yeah, quick little rundown of tonight. And it looks like Christopher Hamilton will be on the pole here tonight over Craig Jancic. Then Bryce Reiner and Marco Chacon there in row number 2. Row number 3 will be Colin Winslow with Anthony Jenkins. Row number 4, Devon Young with Tyler Terville. Row number 5, Dan Morera with Eli Singh. And then the rest of the drivers back to the field. For 11th place, you have Steve Brown. 12th is Sheik Ale. 13th is Leo Gusha. 14 is Nicholas Coate. Then Jim Herrick back there in 15th. Randy Ayers back there in 16th. Frank Pisano in 17th. Christian Torres in 18th. Jake Modi in their 19th. Cesar Torres in 20th. Glenn Lawson in 21st. Troy Saylor back in there in 22nd. Jason Potts in 23rd. Todd Terville back there in 23rd. Yep, 23rd. Jason Potts is 22nd. So Joe Sullivan, fellow CRN broadcaster, back there a little bit farther back here tonight in P24. Rand Dilemma back there in P25. William Burrell. Ian Wilson, Jay Little, Paul Bailey, Eric Martin, and Dan Herrera for your 31-car field here tonight at Suzuka.
And just confirmation for myself, at least, is the two, Marco Chacon and Dan Morera, representing Costa Rica for tonight. Nice size field once again. 31 cars set to take the green flag. And it is one of them that we mentioned, Dan Morera, not getting a time in here. This is a not a small track, Jimmy. This is one of the bigger ones that we go to, and it's definitely got some technical sections here. I mean, it's one of the very few figure 8 tracks still you know, still kind of out there and still running, and you don't necessarily notice the bridge that much. Obviously, the underpass you're going to notice when you come through the what is it? I believe it's is it Degner? Yeah, Degner is the double corners that you're coming through there. So you'll notice the overpass, but you don't really notice at least I don't notice the overpass when you're going over there. But we're getting ready to get this thing underway. It is going to be 45 minutes on tap for these drivers here at CSRL. Round number 3, Chris Hamilton and Craig Jancic on the front row. Just waiting for that green flag, and we are racing at Suzuka.
Yeah, instantaneously, drivers kind of breaking out, gonna head down into turn 1. Cold tires, everybody. Here we go.
Great look back through the field, heading into turn number 1, and out of turn number 2, and into the very famous, and probably one of the most famous parts of Suzuka, the S's here, just back and forth, side by side at the front. Hamilton and Jancic going at it. Jancic trying to get in there, and he's going to take the lead into anti-bank coming out of the S's here as they head into Dunlop Corner for the first time. And looks like everyone's going to survive.
Yeah, it looks like everybody looking at my track map. It looks like I got them all back to there. Just looks like the 31 car obviously just back, but everybody's single file for the most part. But let's get this thing underway. You got 45 minutes or 41 minutes remaining here. About 2 minutes a lap. 2 minutes at 2:01, depending on traffic and how you get through these corners, how well their tires are holding up. But they're also coming down here to another tricky section where she leads them down to a nice long straightaway down to a final chicane or bus stop type of area before they come down the front stretch.
Into Spoon for the first time. And this is, it's kind of it's a long left-hand corner, but you almost kind of take it as two different corners. You're drifting out to the middle of Spoon, and then ducking back in to head on down at the backstretch here, one of the fastest spots on the track, and then into one of the most tricky spots, and that is 130R. It's just a little bit of a kink type of corner, but you catch that curb wrong on the inside or the outside, and it can end your race very quickly. Shooting it into the wall, and there you go. Didn't end the race for Troy Saylor, but saved it. Now we got another one sliding sideways. That is actually Troy Saylor right there. Another car off the track. That's Jay Little going shooting past your camera. So a couple of drivers having some issues at 130R. It's in my opinion one of the trickiest corners here on this track. But at the front, it is Greg Jancic leading the way back into the S's. Chris Hamilton, Bryce Reiner, Anthony Jenkins, Marco Chacon for your top 5. Then Colin Winslow, Devin Young, Tyler Torville, Steve Brown, and Eli Singh for your top 10.
And that 130R you're talking about being on a difficult track. I did get a chance to get a couple laps out there with a Porsche, and I'm not quite sure on the setups that these drivers are running, but I did feel that the rear end was really loose coming through there. So, it could be one of those things. I'm looking at Troy Saylor. It looks like he's in the Porsche, so it's just a very, very easy spot. The rear end just kind of seems to want to float around on you down to there, and you can really make up some major time there. So it's a little misfortunate there for the 113.
I mean, I as a golfer, I know that there's, architects, typically they try and, have the, uniqueness to each of the courses that they design, but there's usually something that, they're known for, whether it's, a long par 3 or, dogleg rights, whatever it may be. And I almost feel like, I know not all these tracks were designed by the same person, but you look at some of these bigger tracks, these bigger named tracks, and it's always the smallest corner that catches you out. I mean, you look right here at 130R, just a little kink to the left, but it can end your day very quickly if you catch it wrong. You look at Spa, it's Blanchimont, and it's just a little tiny kink to the left, but it can end your day really quickly. You look at Daytona on the infield, the little kink in the infield, again, you catch it wrong. It's just these little kinks. What is it about it? It's just, are you not thinking about it? Is it just, a corner that, okay, I'm just going through it, you don't really give it a thought, and all of a sudden it catches you? I don't know what it is, Jimmy.
A lot of times I think it's just the banking usually, and a lot of them where they're kind of flat, and you think you can take it faster than you should, and the people aren't taking into account the weight transfer of the car and how it could shift around, and if you're too early on the gas or you lift up too much and that weight shifts, and will send you around. So it's just something that you need. As little as it is, there's so much concentration needs to go into those corners so you don't lose the rear end or the front end, and you can carry as much speed as possible. But right now it is a Craig Jancic out front, Christopher Hamilton chasing with Bryce Reiner, Anthony Jenkins, and Marco Chacon there for your top 5.
The battle back here towards the back of the field is the battle for 24th and 25th, and Eric Martin's going to go around here in the back. He's going to get it back going. No harm, no foul. He's going to lose some time and a spot there battling with Dan Herrera, but he gets 241 back rolling as Troy Saylor gets on by, and Ortiz Torres now comes up on the back of 341 as well. Some more battling up towards the front.
Yeah, field seems to be kind of pretty balanced, a mixture of a lot of different cars out here tonight. Obviously people think with a lot of turns and maybe run that Porsche, a little Porsche heavy here tonight, but having a fair share of McLarens. I see Mercedes, Lamborghini, a couple Acuras, even the Fords out here. I think we have everything. I think
I feel like it's the first time in a long time that we've seen a Ferrari out in the field. I heard some more, I heard some more action there, and is that, might it be, I think Bryce Reiner had an off, Colin Winslow right there with an off, the 24, limping back around here. That is Bryce Reiner, but I think Colin Winslow, Colin Winslow is slipping down here. Definitely hurt on that 19. We'll take a look back here and see what happened here. This is Bryce Reiner again, 130R. You get on that curbing the wrong way. You see right there in the background, that is Colin Winslow going sideways, entering 130R. So not sure exactly what happened there. Already sliding sideways. Not sure if he got some help there. Heading in, and yeah, it looks like so. Looks like got a little bit of a punt there from the 15. Or 16, Sheikha Lee. Send him around.
Some communications over the radio and apologies sent there to Winslow. So obviously not what he was expecting, but doing the right thing, and kind of taking that car down. I believe he came in close to get that fast repair.
Yeah, and it's one thing. I mean, these drivers don't start with a full tank of fuel, but they can come in and take a full tank. So given the fact that it is a 45-minute race, really they can pit anytime they want, and they'll be able to make it to the end of the race. So it's not too harming. It's not too damning if you get into that incident early, because in a case like this where it's a little bit bigger of a track, you may actually be better pitting early. You get back out there and you got some free air to kind of really lay some laps down instead of trying to work your way through traffic or avoid some incidents like it looked like Colin Winslow was trying to do there. Maybe just checking up a little bit because he might have seen Reiner or at least the smoke in front, and I don't think Ali was ready for that little bit of checkup. But either way, at the front here again, it is Jancic leading Hamilton, but only just. Hamilton putting in almost a sub 2-minute lap that last time, 2 minutes 0.08 on the last lap. It looks like Greg Jancic still holding it back on this one, and both cars coming in still in the 2-minute flat range. So it's a good racing here at the front as they've broken away to about a 4-second lead over Jenkins in third.
Yeah, just doing the thing. I think Chris is just kind of tucked up behind Jancic right now, just kind of holding his own pace, and if the 88 makes a mistake, he'll be able to capitalize and move on around. But yeah, right now, good run between those two drivers. Let's see what else we got going out throughout the field here. As battles 1 and 2 are right there, but pretty big battle there for back in P3 as well.
Yeah, Marcus Chacon all over the backside of the AM leader right now, Anthony Jenkins, for third place. And yeah, I mean, as you were saying earlier, it's not often that we see just about every manufacturer out there. I don't see the BMW. But
that's the only one missing.
Yeah, but I mean, just to see the Ferrari. I mean, we got Jake Mowdy in the Ferrari, and it just feels like forever. It's been kicked to the curb so long. So I'm happy at least that the Ferrari is back out there. But it looks like possibly, I'm not sure if this was still from the earlier incident.
What the heck?
But looks like okay. So the 19. Maybe he was not able to get back around or some kind of issues, but he towed back to pit lane. And I'm not seeing a second incident by him once he came back out, but your points leader here in the pro class is certainly going to need to use a drop race for this one, because he is certainly not going to have a good finish. Set dead last right now and in the pits, so could be a quick night here for the 19.
Yeah, it looks like the 19 has decided to park and put, I've seen the driver get out of the car, and then the car disappear from the pits. So the 19 looks to be heading to the hauler here for tonight. Suzuka not being too friendly for that track or team, but it is for Craig Jancic at the moment, with Christopher Hamilton, Anthony Jenkins out front over Marcus Chacon, Devon Young, Steve Brown, Eli Singh, Mr.
Something like that.
Tyler Turville and Frank Brazzano for your top 10.
Taking a look at a battle just outside the top 10 here as Randy Ireson in 12th and Leo Gausha right behind him.
racing all over the track. You know, pockets here and there. Got some distance between a lot of areas, and you know that happens in road racing. You know, a lot of times. You know, Suzuka is, I believe Suzuka is one of the free tracks, and you know, so there's be some drivers that got a lot of time here at Suzuka, but nice move there by the 54, and just going to the outside and make enough room, so no collision made there. I think it was good and green in this area.
Yeah, just a little bump and run there in the S's by Marcus Chacon and Devin Young, who Devin Young was actually the one that got into the back of Colin Winslow earlier. I thought it was Sheik Ali, but it was Devin Young that got into the back. But either way, both of them making the pass on Anthony Jenkins, so they'll move into 3rd and 4th, respectively. Back here again, the battle for 12th and 13th still waging on here, as already 11, almost 12 minutes into this race, so it's clicking by pretty quickly, as it usually does. There's just always so much action going on all over the place that you glance over and go, oh, okay, 10 minutes is gone.
Yeah, 10 minutes is nothing when you're out there, and it does go by fast, especially when you're in the car. But right, yeah, this is a good battle here. We're the only Merc in the track right now there with Leo and Randy Ayers, so just doing a good job in this part of the track. And you know, you just sometimes let's look back to the field and you can see some of the best battles in racing, just as well as up front. So it's good to see these two going head to head right now.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight to round number 3 for CSRL. Given that, so hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything he's here and has to offer. Shout out there to Jerry. Was out here rooting on Colin. Unfortunately, Jerry didn't last too long for him tonight, but he does have the truck race in hand that will hopefully keep him up there in the points battle. But he's not, I'm sure, liking seeing who's up front right now, and that is Craig Jancic still holding it down out front. But Chris Hamilton not exactly going away, still 1 second behind, just hanging right in there with the Porsche. But one thing I am surprised, we talked about all the different manufacturers out here. I'm not surprised that there's a lot of Porsches out here. It seems like Porsches has really kind of been the good feel vehicle lately for a lot of these drivers and on a lot of these tracks. And these drivers, again, only having 2 cars that they can use all season. They have to pick the 2 cars at the beginning of the season, and whether they want to run, say that the Porsche and BMW, that's it. They can only use those 2 cars all season. So I'm not surprised to see a lot of Porsches out here, but what I'm surprised is not too many Acuras. I know the Acura was the hot new toy. Only 2 out here tonight. I mean, one of them is leading, and then the other one is in the top 10. But I'm kind of surprised myself to see only 2 Acuras here in the field.
Yeah, and maybe because of the the Daytona week and the balance of power, and maybe some drivers just decide that maybe it's just not in the spot they want it to be for this track, and seems to be doing okay for Craig Jancic. So as far as the cars and like the right hands, the right drivers behind it, usually any car is okay. I know a lot of times, the BOP, the balance of power, they come out for the special events. They try to make the vehicles kind of as equal as possible. So, but they keeps changing. Whether it's a little bit of fuel or some weight or actual power. They just kind of level the playing field. But the Acura has been the new car, and obviously just came out not too long ago. But it looks like Eli Singh just went off track, so action happening for the points leader for the AM.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Got a couple incidents here. This is Marcus Chacon. He was up there in 3rd place, and maybe just over-rotates a little bit through turn number 2, slides that Mustang sideways, gets it back going directly into the side of who that is that Eli Singh? Yeah, the number 2, and then right there another incident. So actually it was Steve Brown that he got into, and then let's see if that was Eli Singh that ended up getting tagged.
Yeah.
As Singh off the track right there. Yeah, Eli Singh kind of just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. He gets spun around. So both our points leaders not exactly having a good night here tonight.
Yeah, and he toes. So that's 2 minutes. That's a lap down right from the rip. So who knows what Eli will decide to do? Whether he'll come out and try to make his way through the field. We are at closing in on that 20-minute mark. So closing in on about halfway down to this race here tonight as we continue our laps here at Suzuka. But yes, it can be a very tricky track, and you can see just the slightest mistake, it could get into another driver. But so kind of down at the minimum at the moment. So just it was just the Mustang is pretty easy to bring around if you get on the throttle too heavy. So that's probably just what happened back there, and ended up coming back on the track, and maybe figured the car would be by him and be able to sneak in behind, but just a misjudgment call there for the Mustang. But right now, looking here with Jim Herrick in the 10th position in that Lamborghini, and one of the sponsors, that 4D Racewear. So don't be afraid to go check them out, as well as one of the series sponsors.
Yeah, had a little bit of an issue there going through the final chicane and lost a couple spots. Just had to shoot straight through there. It's more battling towards the back as Troy Saylor trying to make amends and work his way back up through the field after having some issues early, just passing Ian Wilson. But some of the biggest movers of the race right in front of him, William Burrell up 11 spots, started back in 28th and is now up into 17th overall. Brennan DeLima is up 11 spots as well, started in 26th and now been to 15th. And then 2 cars in front of him, Todd Torville and Jason Potts, both up 10 spots into 14th and 13th respectively. And then Frank Pisano, he's got a little maybe Ricky Bobby inspiration, and he is trying to drive that shake and bake Acura towards the front. He is up 10 spots, up into 7th place overall. And I'm not going to stay on too long, because I know Frank certainly gets bit by the broadcaster's curse. I think as much, if not more, than anyone else out here. So good run so far. 7th place right now for the number 4 Pisano. But again, out front, they're chasing the 88 of Craig Jancic, but Chris Hamilton, after he started slipping back here a little bit, and it looked like maybe Jancic had a hold of this thing, Hamilton reeled right back in.
Yeah, Chris is really good at, if the car starts getting away from him, kind of like just settle himself down and get that car back under control. And Chris might be just looking to see where possibly Craig might make a mistake, or where he can take advantage of, that next move, to get him that 20 car out front. And, I'm pretty sure you said they don't have a full tank of fuel, so they should have to stop.
Yes.
Just when is the question? Whether it's lap 1 where they can fill up, or if it's halfway through. So, but either way, I think it's going to come down to that. Which one of these drivers have practiced their pit stops and have that thing down to a science? Because it's coming right out of that last tight chicane going down the hill. So it's going to be interesting to see these 2 drivers on when they decide to pit, and what will change.
And the lap times right now not really falling off, so it's not really a situation where a short pit or an over pit is actually going to mean that much of a difference. I mean, the last lap by there, Jancic ran still a 2-minute flat, 0.93. Chris Hamilton with a 2-minute flat, 0.60. Devin Young was the fastest one on the track with a 2-minute flat, 0.46, but he's 8 seconds behind. So, I mean, these 2 leaders have really stretched it out, and we've seen before that Chris actually, prefers to maybe stay out an extra lap compared to anyone else that's in front of him, if there is anybody in front of him, just to maybe get that 1 or 2 extra laps of clean air out there. But he is certainly not letting the 88 of Jancic get away, as we take a look back at Troy Saylor at the wrong time. Got sideways in Spoon as he was just running down William Burrell, trying to pick up a spot, and now Christian Ortiz-Torres is going to make the move past him.
Yeah, that's such a what happened to Taylor. That's so easy to do. You kind of swing out the car at the beginning of the Spoon, and if that right rear tire just touches the grass, that's just enough to to send your car into what seems to be an endless drift, and hopefully you can keep it straight and not lose too much time. So that was a very good or hard place to kind of master, having that double apex there too, that the spring.
Well, this seems to be an endless battle between Ayers and Gaucher right now, as Ayers did have the position back, but now Leo, the 666, is going to take 8th place right back on him and head down into Degner one more time. But this battle doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
That's a lot of sixes.
Yeah, 666 versus 66.
6 to 66 with a 666.
They just need to get up there and battle for 6th place, and then we'll be good to go.
Not doing a great job, just squirrel, I guess. I just happen to look at them, see all of the numbers. But
now, Jimmy, I got a question here, because I do see a driver out there with wet tires. I haven't seen any kind of weather yet. Can you take a look at the forecast on your side? You know, take a look at the Doppler, see what we got going on. If there's something out there that we're missing, because I see it looks like, and it could be SDK making a mistake, but I do see Steve Brown showing, at least in the telemetry here, that he is on wet tires here.
Yeah, I'm looking at because I have other up as well, and I'm also showing the same thing.
And looking at how he handled turn 1 there, I would tend to agree that SDK is actually right, because that car did not look like one to handle good.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously these cars have the ability to run like 158s on like a perfect lap. We haven't seen the sub 1 or sub 2 minute lap yet from any of the drivers. But you know, so there should be averaging right around 201.5. So the Steve Brown on a 206. Where, you know, whether he just came out or you know, trying to get those things up to speed. But if he's on wets, Carl, and this track does not go to rain status within 2-3 laps, he's, you know, his tires will be shot, and he'll be probably wanting to come in or be fighting it for the rest of the race, and he'll be slower because they don't stick as good when it's not wet. So either way, we'll see if Steve Brown can put that McLaren back together and get it back up towards the front. Still in the lead lap. Maybe just a call where he thought that the rain would happen. But looking at the forecast, looks like within the next 10 minutes, you know, a 11% chance. And that's only for about 15 minutes. So the odds are probably against...
Not in his favor.
Yeah, not in his favor at all. So made probably the bad choice, and probably he might, you know, sometimes when you get in the car and for a race like this where you know you're gonna pit, as you grid up, you just go over to your box and you either click on your tire, you make your decision, like, I mean, I want tires and I want this much fuel. And so, you know, he might have had that set up right from the get-go, and maybe something that he overlooked when he actually came in the pit. Yeah, that...
I mean, I gotta say, looking at the clouds, the clouds don't look good. I mean, it definitely looks dark around the track, but not seeing anything popping up just yet, or dropping down, I guess I should say. As Bryce Reiner trying to make his way back up through the field, currently running in that 19th spot, but you see our top running drivers at the top for their classes. In the Pro class, Jancic leading the way, and in the M class, it is Jenkins as their 1st and 4th overall, respectively. But it's been a pretty good race. A couple of drivers, you know, having some issues at 130R early, some bumping and bang going through the S's, and some of this right here, just some slides going through Spoon. Spoon is not being nice to these drivers here tonight, and it's not that difficult of a corner, but it's a corner that you want to try and keep up speed as much as possible, and kind of like, you know, like you said, kind of like double apex, and you cut in on the entry, drift out kind of midway, and then try to cut it back in for the exit, get a good run down that backstretch. But didn't lose too much there, but that's not a line you want to be taking through 130Rs. That could have been trouble. But the 24 in those angry tires right now, making it our way back to the start-finish line, as we are past halfway. We're 25 minutes into this race already. Still have the top 17 in line right now that have yet to come into the pits.
There's still a lot of drivers needing to come in to take that fuel for the rest of the way, and we'll see where the other drivers will kind of fall into play. But yeah, so what will these drivers do? And you talked about Chris Hamilton staying; he likes to stay out. Typically, Carl, when you have less fuel, if you're taking care of your tires, you're going to really get some great laps on that light fuel. So maybe that's one of the reasons Chris likes to stay out. Maybe just the clean air, as these drivers are heading around, they don't have anybody in front of them for quite some time. So Chris has the fuel to stay out just that little bit longer. He might just do that. But right now, he's just adding all the pressure he can to Craig Jancic.
I'm on board here with Chris for a lap and figure around Suzuka as he's right there with Craig Jancic through turns 1 and 2, grabbing a couple gears going down there, and then it's just kind of a tippy toe back and forth through the S's here, to the left, back to the right, and you're trying to let it drift out and cut back across as much as possible to really set up these entries at the corner. But it's so tough. There's so much speed through here, coming out of Anti-Banked into Dunlop Corner. Let it drift all the way out there, but you got to be careful. You don't want to get out too far. You get into that grass out there, and it's going to be either snapping around or it's going to be just pushing right out there, going through Degner right now and under the underpass of the Figure 8 track here, heading up to the hairpin. Slowest part of the track here, this part, and obviously the little chicane at the end, tucking right back up to the 88 as they head all the way down, long, sweeping, flat out corner here. Not even a named corner, just a long, sweeping right-hander. You got to get all the way to the right-hand side here, set up a good entry into Spoon, and this is, again, it's a long left-hander that it's just a double apex. There's the first one, second one right now. Back to the inside, let the car drift all the way out, get some curb to really open up that steering wheel and open up that throttle all the way down the backstretch. And then, how much confidence do you have to get as much power through here, through 130R? You see Chris tentatively taking the inside curbing there a little bit, and then heading down into the chicane to complete a lap here at Suzuka at pace and in a battle for the lead. And how about this? Both drivers coming into the pits at the same time, getting it down to pit road speed.
It could be a tough entrance there. I was just kind of admiring Chris's paint job. I know he's got the safety car and it looks like the pace car, but right above his dash, looking out his windshield, it says "Don't crash."
Wise words of wisdom.
Somebody left some words of wisdom on that livery for Christopher Hamilton. Not to bend it. But great entrance for those drivers as they hold down and getting some much needed fuel for the remainder of the race. And that will put Devon Young out front for a little while.
It was running in third place, elected to stay out for at least one lap, and again he was 8-9 seconds behind these leaders, but not exactly having a bad race. Running back there in third in the 15, had that little bit of a scrape up with Winslow heading into 130R that set Winslow sideways, but other than that, he's been keeping this 15 clean and in that top 5 and running third place before the pit stops started here. But I think you're going to see pretty much everybody in. If they're not in this lap, which a lot of drivers are, you'll see the rest of them coming in on this next lap as we get close to completing 30 minutes. So almost 2/3 of this race already complete. Jancic was able to get back out in front of Hamilton, but only just, as the pit stop, a lot of times, Jimmy, the pit stops really are the money maker or what shakes things up. It didn't do a thing to these guys.
No, not at all. These guys are doing a fantastic job here, and they're starting to enter in that time frame where they'll get a very slight chance of rain, but 11% not being a huge factor. Humidity's only at 89%, and I believe it's rising. So there's a possibility, Carl, but look at the sky. I think we're going to make it rain-free for this one. And I'm sure that'll be a relief to some of these drivers out there. So these corners, when it's wet, and I've driven here, raced here when it's wet, it's very challenging. We'll put it that way.
Gross. Yes, gross. Is one way to put it. As Devin Young in the pits, Sheik Ali also in the pits. Pisano now coming in as well, and you see Randy Ayers there going to the right. He's going to come in, so that's going to shuffle the pit cycle all the way through. Just got a couple more. Looks like Renan De Lima. We'll see if he comes in this time, and then our boy Joe Sullivan. We'll see if he decides to come into the pits as well. But it's going to put Jancic back in the lead. Hamilton back in second. Devin Young is going to come out in third place. So that is your top three, but 10, it looks like 11 seconds in between second place and third place. And actually, Anthony Jenkins was able to make the pass on Sheik Ali to get back into fourth place. He is your leader in the AM class right now. Doing a fantastic job in that 54. And looking back through, looks like everybody is going to complete their pit stops. Paul Bailey, the last one to yet to come into the pits, along with Eric Martin. But I think Martin pit earlier, so I think he was involved in a little mix-up. But we'll see. The 569 of Bailey now coming in this time by. And Martin is in as well, so that is going to complete everybody's pit stop here for tonight. So we'll be good to go all the way to the end. We get to sit back and watch this battle and just have a little fun here, because we don't have to worry about what happens. It's not one of our cars. It's not like, you know, Daytona. If somebody wants to wreck it, somebody wants to bin it. There's no GTPs out there, so we don't have to worry about them. And there were some guys that were weapons out there. We got a side-by-side battle heading onto the backstretch. Jancic just going to slam the door closed.
Yeah, a pretty good run from the outside, so now going down through here. I just don't know how comfortable Chris is with the car. To get a tighter turn when I ran the Porsche through this section here, the rear end just wanted to step out. So it just was probably the most treacherous area of the track for myself and the Porsche. Anyways, like I said, I'm not sure they'll set the run exactly, but
fighting it through the chicane there for sure, as that back end was definitely working back and forth.
It floats. It kind of reminds me of the kink during Daytona.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it was a little treacherous for sure going through there, and I know I had at least one spin sideways. It was not fun. As here's Bryce Reiner working on Jason Potts. It's the battle for 14th position. Certainly 130Rs is not something you're comfortable with single wide, so making a pass there 130Rs is not really a good choice, I don't think, to say the least. You're better off just backing it up and maybe taking a run and a late dive into the chicane here, but it looks like Reiner's going to stay in 15th for the time being. Up a little bit further, Len Lizan currently is holding off Cesar Colon Torres in 13th position, 12th and 13th position right now, heading it down into turn number 1, but we're down to about 10 minutes. Plus a lap here as Colon sends it to the inside. Torres and Lizan look to go side by side through the S's, but the 007 going to back out for the time being and follow him through here. But this is shaping up to be a pretty good battle. We got a lot of battles going all over the place, and Randy Ayers locked into another battle, but this time it looks like Gausha is up the road a little bit, so he doesn't have to worry about him at least yet, but he's ahead of Frank Pisano right now, and he's got a little shake and bake in the mirror right now, so he's going to do some driving to keep that number 4 behind him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a pride thing, but those two drivers in 2 different classes, so as much as you want to race everybody on the track, sometimes you just gotta, if you can see the bigger picture and then know who's on your other list, so that way you're kind of like Jenkins. He's actually winning for the AM, and obviously he would like to get in front of Jancic, Hamilton, or Young, but he doesn't need to. I mean, he can just hold his own, and as long as he finishes in front of Randy Ayers right there and Jim Herrick, he'd still walk away with a win tonight. Just not the overall win.
Yeah, and like you said, it's more pride than anything, and that's why some of these the drivers and the admins prefer the way we have the standings here showing, and they can see where they are overall, not just in their class. and you know, get to see where everything lays out. Obviously, the drivers with the black number plates there are your Pro Class drivers, and then the ones with the green number plates are your AM Class drivers. And you see at the top of your screen, it should be showing the leader. There we go. As you got Jancic leading the Pro Class, and then Jenkins leading in the AM Class. And it's still a battle at the front. We got another battle back here as Reiner now to the inside of it looks like is it that car? No, 57 there, Jason Potts. Yeah, he is going to get to the inside and make the pass. He moved himself up into 14th, and not too far behind the battle of Lizan and Torres. So still got a chance to move his way up through the field here a little bit. Another one that certainly gets caught by the broadcaster's curse here is the man here in the 40, and man behind 40racewear.com, and one of the sponsors here for the series. Certainly check out 40racewear.com for the original racing gloves for your feet. But a good top 10 run right now, currently in 3rd place. Definitely knocking on wood on our side here. I feel like it's been a long time since we've been able to interview Mr. Jim Herrick for a finish that he's had, so I don't want to stay on this Lamborghini too long here, but good run here for the 40 for the time being.
Great run. So definitely time's coming down. Got 5 minutes remaining. So roughly 3 laps. It's the race drivers have coming on to the S. Going up to the S's. Yeah, so they should have this lap and 2 more we'll be looking at until the finish. So can Craig Jancic hold on over Christopher Hamilton here for the overall win? And can Anthony Jenkins finish out strong here? Currently sitting in P number 4. A little bit far behind, and then Devon Young in order to maybe get that spot, but some other good battles on the field. Back there, one back for like 6th and 7th, and the other one back there in 20th and 21st between Ian Wilson and our fellow broadcaster Joe Sullivan.
And Ian Wilson smack them in the middle as you got Burrell, Wilson, and Sullivan, 19th, 20th, and 21st right here on your screen. And should be coming up to the last few laps, like Jimmy said, probably 2 or 3 laps left in this race. And luckily, I guess, for the drivers, didn't have to deal with any kind of weather, at least up until this point. Certainly, it'd be fun for us if all of a sudden the clouds open up here in these last couple laps and really see what these drivers can do. I know it's diabolical, but I wouldn't mind as an admin here to set up a race that just decides to rain in the last like 5 minutes of the race to see who can handle that wetness with those slick tires, or who makes that last second move into the pits and grab those wet tires. I know it certainly, depending on how hard it comes down, it can be treacherous real quick.
Yeah, I know how to get around track on slick tires, but it's not fun in the rain, and you feel like you're going half speed because you are. I mean, it's really got to really be careful, especially with slicks on the wet track. But heck of a battle between these cars here on the screen. I'm basically going to test it with Bryce Rayner. Just doing a fantastic job getting around here tonight. Sitting currently in P14. I think, yeah,
moved up to 13th here. Yeah, yep. Got involved in that earlier incident in the S's, but making his way back up through here now in 13th, and looking at the back of Glenn Lizan here to try and get this thing up into 12th before it's over. But all eyes at the front. It is still 0.3 of a second separating these top 2. It seems like Hamilton has been the faster car tonight. He's been able to hang it with Jancic the entire time. I think the biggest lead was a smidge over 1 second here tonight for Jancic. So Hamilton certainly has the speed, but does he have an opportunity to pass? And when he does, can he make it happen is the question, as it stretched out to 0.4 of a second, heading down into Spoon. Should be possibly 3 more laps left once they hit the line this time by, but it is certainly going to be a good one. Reiner now has closed in on the back as Hamilton there gets a little sideways coming out of Spoon, trying to get the power down. But Reiner now right on the back of Lizan, trying to move up into 12th.
Yeah, everybody looking for a move. There's a couple good places. Obviously, the end of one. A lot of times, whoever is defending or in that position, they'll go to the inside. But you can go to the out. This is turn 1, 2. You can go to the outside, and it will hold. It's a move that I've used in a few events, especially when they have the 8-hour event here. I've done a 3-hour event here as well. But
I was going to say, you almost called it there as Hamilton got to the outside there, but Jansen going to hold him off on the inside. Again, should be 3 laps to go.
And you can get that to work out there, and you will carry some serious speed up to the S's, not so much, and then you're going to get an opportunity going up into the tight turn up there in 11. So, and then he'll have to work his way down through 130R, and there's a possibility that pass in turns 16 and 15 if he can get the run. But yeah, turns 1 and 2 is probably your best bet unless Jansen makes a mistake.
We might have had another death in 130R, and this is Nicholas Coton. That's what could happen right there. Big incident there for the 17, and he ended up towing it back to pit lane there. But that was a huge impact. Ended up rolling over the car for the 17.
I just slid through that corner. I don't know how many times. I don't think I've ever barrel rolled. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it's just overcorrected it, snapped it to the right, and snapped it up and over. But here are these drivers now, your leaders, coming down into 130R again. Nothing separating them, but they're coming up on some traffic. So will traffic come into play before this thing is over? 130R one more time for the 88 and the 20, both getting through cleanly. And you see a lot of debris out there on the track from these drivers going off into the marbles and bringing them back on the track. Stretching out the lead here a little bit, 0.7 of a second now as they come to the line. And should be 2 laps to go this time by, as Jansen still leading over Chris Hamilton, heading off down into turn number 1. Looks like Renan de Lima had a bit of an incident here as well. We'll take a look back here real quick. This is into the hairpin, and I guess this is the other part of shake and bake here. Just realizing it right now.
Whoa.
And shaking that thing a little bit sideways, but losing a position, no harm, no foul though. Other than that, back to the lead. As Jansen is starting to stretch out here. It's back out to a second, so Hamilton not having a good trip through the S's here, and this could be the opportunity that Jansen hasn't had all race.
Yeah, Jansen just been holding back just that little bit and saving tires, and just be able to launch himself forward for a win here tonight. So far, so good for Craig and Chris Hamilton sitting there at PM2, dividing on the 3rd. So, yeah, getting close to finishing this thing up, I believe.
Trying to see myself here. I'm not seeing a white flag just yet. I think they might be getting it this time by. But I guess we'll find out if we'll see the checkered flag coming out here. I thought there were 2 laps to go here, but coming up on some traffic. So, I mean, if they're on the white flag, I'm sure Jansen would be more than happy, because if not, if they get the white flag this next time by, it's going to be tough trying to figure out this traffic and holding Hamilton back as they're side by side in front of him. Not what he wants to see. Hamilton closes in, gets within a second once again. Coming out, the 569 is going to move to the side. And white flag will be in the air this time by. 1 more lap to go. You see Barney on the left-hand side. 1 more lap to go. There's 1 lap car in between Jansen and Hamilton. 0.8 of a second separating them. The lap car moves out of the way, but there's still 1 more lap car in front of Jansen immediately here. Will he get held up? Will Hamilton get back? He is inside 1 second again, just kind of dipping back and forth. It seems like that Acura gets through these S's just maybe a little bit better right now than that Porsche. So it's enough to keep Jancic out there in the lead. Hamilton's going to have to close quickly if he wants a chance at this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and that could be the opportunity that Jancic needed right there as a lap car goes wide, and Hamilton has to keep it to the inside to avoid him coming back on. And that could be all she wrote right there. 1.5 seconds now is the gap from first to second, and the lap car doing the exact opposite of what Hamilton needed. It actually hurt him instead of allowing him to close in on Jancic.
Yeah, that was Eli. Eli saying there, your counselor for your AM class, just having a little bit of troubles here tonight. As Carl focuses on Cesar Torres, he gets a little bit off the track, sitting in P number 14. Yeah,
battling with Glenn Lozon there. Lozon is going to hold him off as Lozon just recently lost the position there to Bryce Reiner. But coming down the backstretch one more time, 1.3 seconds is the gap. Just got to keep it clean through 130R one last time, and Jancic is going to do just that, heading into the chicane for the final time, coming out and onto the front stretch. Number 88 is going to weather the only storm tonight, and that is from Chris Hamilton. Your winner tonight at Suzuka is going to be the 88 of Craig Jancic. Chris Hamilton coming home in second place. Take a look back as Devin Young coming out of the chicane. He is going to come home in third. Overall, a good run here for the 15. Now coming out of the chicane, your winner here for the AM class is going to be the 54 of Anthony Jenkins, coming home fourth place overall. It's like Marco Chacon stopping on the front stretch, not going to finish, I guess. I'm not even going to finish inside the top 5, I guess. Not sure what the plan was there, but it looks like actually, I think the start-finish line is actually, or the finish line is a little bit further up there. So Chacon is going to get 5th place. Sheik Ali is going to come home in 6th. Leo Gausha in 7th. 2nd place in the AM class, 7th or 8th overall, is going to go to Randy Ayers. Certainly seen him battling with a lot of drivers here tonight. Good job finishing in 2nd. Frank Pisano going to finish in 9th. Jake Mowdy in 10th. And then Jim Herrick. We'll finally get to talk to the man in the 40 once again, coming home 3rd place in the AM class, 10th place overall. Pretty good race out here tonight, and really it came down to traffic at the end that determined some of these positions.
Yeah, I mean, the track is a tricky one. A lot of technical spots, and you know, the more you run up, the better you are here. You know how to handle each and every corner, like it, you know, by the back of your hand. One of the course, this is one of the tracks I kind of stayed away from because I had a really hard time with the spoon area. But once I figured out how to drive through the spoon area of the track, it was a lot of fun. So definitely a great showing here by the drivers. Put on a great, fantastic run. So getting ready here, and look forward to talking to the winners in top 3.
Yeah, we'll talk to the top 3 in both of the classes here tonight, as it was a good one. We'll take a look at the final results for tonight's race. And it is, there we go. It is going to be, again, Craig Jancic, your winner tonight. Chris Hamilton, Devin Young, Anthony Jenkins, Marco Chacon, Sheik Ali, Leo Gausha, Randy Ayers, excuse me, Frank Pisano, Jake Mowdy for your top 10. Looking down through the rest of the order, you got 11th Jim Herrick, so not sure. Oh yeah, it looks like yeah, he did finish 3rd, but I'm not sure how the running order got mixed up there. But either way, it's showing Jim Herrick in 11th, Bryce Reiner, Glenn Lozon, Cesar Colon, Jason Potts, Christian Torres, Renan De Lima, Joe Sullivan, William Burrell, and Ian Wilson for your top 20. Eric Martin, Eli Singh, Paul Bailey, Steve Brown, Troy Taylor, Jay Little, Nicholas Coate, Todd Torville, Tyler Torville, Dan Morera, and then Colin Winslow. Going to round out your 31 car field here for tonight. Jimmy, the rain stayed away here tonight. There was certainly some action here out on the track, and it was a good, fun race, I think, for us at least, and hopefully for the fans out there. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But we'll wait for these drivers to get into the waiting room. Looks like we got a few of them in there right now. So let's go ahead and start pulling them in, and we'll start with the AM class drivers here tonight. Give them a little love for first for tonight. And as everything just shuts down on me, there we go. And we'll go ahead and bring in our third place finisher here in the AM class, Mr. Jim Herrick in the 40. Jim, I feel like it's been forever since we get to talk to you on the podium, and I was afraid. I seen you up there in the top 10. I'm like, I want to give him his props, but I'm afraid because every time I show him on the screen, something happens. You got it done here tonight. You finished just outside the top 10, but third place in the AM class.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's good to be back up on the podium, and I'll take credit for a top 10 today. I kind of let Jake by. He was sneaking up on me on the last lap, and I wasn't sure if he was going to try and make a move or not, and I just wanted to hang on to this position so bad. I was like, well, I'll give up a top 10 for a guaranteed podium on the AM class. So yeah, it's good to be here and have a solid finish again.
Absolutely, buddy. I know your teammate Dan Marrero didn't exactly have the same kind of race. Had some issues there, but you guys choosing the Lambo. I know you guys have only 2 cars that you can pick from for the entire season, and you guys have the Lamborghini as one of them. Is there anything in particular that went into that choice? Did you just think it was a fun car to run, or you kind of have some tracks that you're looking forward to running that thing at?
Well, I did a lot more testing car-wise this year, knowing that we were going to have to pick 2 and stick with them. I kind of, decided to test them all out and, see what I liked. And yeah, the Lamborghini just felt really planted, especially at this track. I tested at Suzuka in the rain, and it felt really good. And I like it at some of the other tracks. The rear end feels really planted, and it's easy for me to sort of feel when the back end is gripping and when it's starting to give way. So that helps me drive it a lot.
Well, one other thing I'm just getting noted from is we actually have it indicated incorrectly here, and Anthony Jenkins is actually in the pro class. Not sure why it's showing up differently for me as the AM class, but so you're actually second in the AM class here tonight. So even better. I mean, you had a little bit of wiggle room and we didn't even realize it. So congrats on the second place here tonight instead.
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean, Suzuka is certainly an interesting track here, and it can get a little bit tough. There's a couple of passing opportunities out there, but a lot of it is kind of follow the leader, and hopefully that leader doesn't make a mistake out there. I mean, did you have any kind of close calls out there? I know 130R certainly bit a few people, as it usually does. The S has got a little hairy for a couple people as well.
Yeah, nothing that was too close. I had to lift a little bit and avoid one car that I think was spinning off 130R, and yeah, otherwise, this track takes a good bit of discipline, especially in the S's, to not burn the tires off. It's really easy to want to get on the gas too early and push that front end and burn up the right front. So yeah, just kind of being willing to follow the leader through that section, and knowing that you're not really going to make a move, just trying to save your tires there and choose where you want to race and where you just want to conserve the car.
Well, you did a good job, and you finally got that 40 Racewear machine up there onto the podium. So congrats, and good to talk to you once again here with a second place in the AM class here tonight, 11th place overall. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, definitely want to give a shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. I love watching them, and my teammate Dan, he didn't have a very good night tonight, but it's always good to have him out there too with me. And I give a quick shout out to my mom. She's recovering from knee surgery, so probably be watching this race. Hi, Mom. This podium's for you. Hope you're recovering well and quickly. And yeah, just shout out to 4D. Everybody take a look at 4dracewear.com. Check out the originals racing gloves for your feet, and like us on Facebook and Instagram.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats again on your second place here tonight. Let's go celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. That is your second place finisher in the AM class after we got everything situated here, the 40 of Jim Herrick. So, Jimmy, why don't you take our actual third place finisher here tonight in the AM class, and that is the 69 of Glenn Lazan.
Yeah, Glenn, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. You got me.
Hey guys.
Hey, welcome to the booth. Lone Corvette out on the track here tonight, and you managed to walk away a podium for that AM division. So P13 overall, not bad start here on for race number 3. Not quite sure how the following races were for you, but it's good to talk to you up here in the booth. So I want to say congratulations and give you a little bit of time to kind of explain how your race went for you tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Basically, like the first half was pretty okay up until the pit stop. There was a few wrecks I had to avoid. I think there was a couple cars in 130R, and then there was a spin and like coming out of the last turn that kind of bottlenecked probably like 5 of us there. And after that, we kind of just spread out, and then the pit cycles happened. And it felt like I only breathed maybe 3 times between the pit stop and the end of the race. I felt like I was making the Corvette the entire width of the track, it seemed like, kind of defending 2 or 3 cars the entire time. So I don't know how I managed to do that, but it was a little dicey there a few times, but it worked out.
Well, it sounds like your race was a very eventful one. A little bit of a chance of showers was in the forecast, but nothing came of it. Was it something that was running in the back of your mind?
Oh yeah, I am complete garbage at rain. So I saw it was like 80% at one chance, so I switched over to the rain tires for the pit stop, and then like 2 laps before the pit stop, I looked at the radar and I was like, oh, like 11% chance, and then I was like, well, I'm not changing tires.
Yeah, no reason to go out on them sketchy tires. As one, they're slower. 2, they tear up quicker than you can put them on the car. It seems, especially with no rain on the track. But you did a great job. You come away here tonight, 3rd place in the AM class, 13th overall. So overall, a great night. So just want to say congratulations and give you a little bit of time for any shout outs out on number 69.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll shout out my teammate since he won once again. So we're doing really good in the team standings so far. So hopefully we keep it up. And thanks to the iRacing gods that delayed the rain. So that helps.
Yeah, definitely. It's good when the gods go your way just a little bit, especially when you're out there on the track. But again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks.
That is your 3rd place finisher here in the AM class, the 69 of Glenn Lazan, 13th place overall. 8th place overall, and your winner here tonight in the AM class is going to be the 66 of Randy Ayers. And Randy, you had plenty of camera time out here tonight, so it'll be a good one for you to go back there and watch, because you seemed like you had a battle on your hands the entire race. I mean, the first half of the race, you're battling there with Leo, and who had the better 6s on their car, the 666 versus the 66. We were hoping you guys get up to 6th place, but at the second half of the race, you were battling with the shake and bake car there, Frank Pisano. So, I mean, talk us through your race and how crazy this track is to begin with, let alone with a battle on your hands the entire time.
You know, I was concerned that it may rain. So the first part of the race was just, let's survive. Let's see what happens here. I really like this track. I drive well here, I think. So, I was just like, let's just stay in your groove. Don't try to overdrive the car, and let's just let the race come to me. And that's what I did, and it turned out great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a good top 10 overall as well. I mean, you get an 8th place, and up there battling with some of the better guys up here in the pro class. So it's got to feel good to know, even though you're back down in the AM class here, that you still have something for them up there.
This is one of my favorite tracks, and I always tend to do well here. So we'll see going forward how this, if I can continue this momentum going forward.
Yeah, next week you guys head to Zandvoort. Certainly a track that that doesn't get run too often. Do you have any kind of experience there at Zandvoort?
I do that.
I like Zandvoort. Again, it's another one of those tracks that you can't overdrive. If you overdrive, you're gonna get into trouble, gonna lose time, or get off track, and that's always going to be a problem. But yeah, looking forward to that for sure.
Well, you came in here tonight a little bit down there in the points, 5th or 6th in the points, but certainly a win here in the division is going to help out. I know Eli Singh had some issues, so you'll be able to gain on him for sure. Congrats on the win here. Congrats on the 8th place overall. Before we let you go, who you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Hey, shout out to you guys for the broadcast. Doing a great job. We love watching these broadcasts, and also to all the officials and admins at the Casual Sim Racers League for putting on such a great league.
We appreciate that, buddy, and I know the guys over here, the admins and CSRL, appreciate these shout outs as well. It is a good running league, and I mean, you guys are turning out some great numbers every week, and always some good racing out there. So thank you for the show that you put on the track. It helps us out a lot too. So we'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week at Zandvoort.
All right, guys. See you next week.
That's your winner here tonight in the AM class, 8th place overall, the 66 of Randy Ayers. Now switch it over to the pro class, 3rd place, and kind of just out there all on his own, all race is going to be the 15 of Devin Young.
Hey, Devin.
How's it going, guys?
Go ahead. I was going to make sure you copied. But we established that. You're looking good. You walk away tonight, 3rd place in that pro division, and overall, just wanted to say congratulations first of all, and give you a little bit of time to kind of explain your race. And we've seen in the forecast there was some rain. Was that something going through your mind? Kind of give us all those aspects of, as a driver, what you were thinking, trying to maintain that P number 3.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, quali wasn't very good. I didn't really get a clean lap in. Kind of got held up into the chicane on my fastest lap, lost a few tenths, so started 7th. Felt like I had decent pace compared to the guys directly in front of me. Got through a couple of them, punted Colin there, and then once I got into clean air, I was matching gap with the 2 out front for a few laps, and then yeah, the rain was on my mind. I think it was about 5 or 6 laps of fuel left. I figured I'll try to save to get to an extra lap to see if that made a difference in terms of if it started to rain, I could take wets or I'd have a decision to make at least. Didn't end up happening, and I still don't know if it had just started to spit. I think I still would have stayed on dries, but after that, it was just a matter of, keeping it on track. There was no way I was going to catch the 2 out front unless they did something incredible and brought me back into it. So just tried to drive like I would in an endurance race, and probably gave up a couple tenths a lap, but brought it home.
Yeah, I mean, it's you go out there and you just try to do the best you can, and a lot of times that endurance mentality can really go a long way and get at least getting some really good finishes. But either way, you walk away a 3rd place finish here tonight, definitely helping in the points just a little bit. So again, we just want to say congratulations, and then give you a little bit of time for any shots you may have on that car.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, and no, just you guys for broadcasting. The league is run really well, so it's a pleasure to be a part of. It's one of the most fun leagues I've been in. There's not much BS or anything, and I think everyone tries to race fairly and have fun with it. So I look forward to Wednesday nights.
Well, it's always good to hear. I'm sure the league enjoyed them shouts as well. So again, congratulations on them on that 3rd place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
You too.
That is your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 15 of Devin Young. 2nd place in the field, certainly got plenty of camera time, and it is the bridesmaid, the number 20, Chris Hamilton. Chris, another 2nd place. I mean, I know you're used to it by now. You've had plenty of 2nd places in your career, but man, this one was right there. You had the pole here tonight. You had a heck of a run between you two through the S's, between you and Craig, and just got ahead of you. What was that? Kind of the maybe not the ceiling deal, because you hung on to him the whole race, but do you feel like if you're able to fight him a little bit better in that beginning there, you had a better chance?
There's a lot of things that I could have done slightly differently. Maybe I could have sent it a little harder. Maybe I wasn't as nice with Craig. But at the same time, I'm not really disappointed at that. If you notice, my number is 20 because I finished second a lot. Nudge, nudge, wink. But the racing itself was pretty good. I knew that the Porsche was destroying him in turn one, so I needed to get him as close as I could into turn one, and I had my shot. I just I didn't fully take it, and that's probably been something I've been trying to work on, is actually attacking and finishing the job.
Well, you were close all the way up until the end, and you guys were coming up on some lap traffic. Were you kind of seeing that and licking your lips, thinking, okay, here's my opportunity. Maybe some lap traffic slows them up a little bit, gives me an opportunity. It kind of turned its ugly head onto you there at the end, and actually kind of messed you up with the second lap car there of I think it was Eli Singh coming out of the of Degner. But what were your thoughts coming into those final laps?
I saw the lap traffic and I was like, okay, they were side by side going into a chicane, the last chicane before the start finish line, and I got pretty close. But traffic giveth, traffic taketh away, and I was the unfortunate non-benefactor victim. Yeah, victim. I was the victim of that, and it will I'll take it, pack up, and go on to the next race. I will keep racking up these second place finishes, and maybe it leads to something. I don't know, but I just have to put my best foot forward every time.
I mean, you come into the race here tonight, fourth in points, but Rich Petrucco not in the field, and Colin Winslow obviously having his issues finishing it last here tonight. So, at least temporarily going to move up in the standings, pending the drop race and everything like that. So it's a good points night either way. I mean, I know it still probably hurts finishing behind that 88, but second place is still good. So congrats on that. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Huge shout out to Parks de la Cruz for the fun iRacing safety car paint scheme. That thing is awesome. It still throws people off, and I will love it. Thanks to Craig for such a great race. He races hard, but he races clean, and that's really all I can ask for. And thanks for you guys for the broadcast.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the second place. We'll see you next week at Zandvoort. See if you can get that top step.
All right, here's to it.
That is your second place finisher here tonight. The 20 of Chris Hamilton. Top step of the race tonight is going to be the 88 of Craig Jancic.
Hey, Craig. It's Jimmy Carlton, Booty Cappy.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Hey, great race out there tonight. A lot of laps out front here, holding off the likes of Christopher Hamilton. So give us one first, congratulations. Give us a little rundown of how your race was for you.
Yeah, thanks so much. This is what I've wanted for a while. I think this is the fourth time that we've run Suzuka since I've been here at CSRL. And I haven't been able to get a win yet. I think I have 2 seconds and a crash. So this one actually feels really good to get off the ticker of races I wanted to win because I love this place. I knew, so Porsche and Acura are my two cars for this season, my choices. And when I was driving the Porsche around here yesterday, I literally couldn't get through the S's without crashing, at least driving the pace that I should have been driving. And that enabled me to feel like I should attack Hamilton right off the jump there, try to get second as quickly as I could, or try to get first as quickly as I could, and it actually worked out really, really well. We were able to clear by the what would that be, technically fifth turn. So really good stuff with him. Kudos to him. He's continuously improving, and he's more and more of a championship threat every single race we go by here, and it's really, really good to have that happen. The competition is getting better and better, and with Colin's struggles this week, and knowing that I think he's got a vacation in this season, this really opens things up for the points, and looking ahead towards that championship, feeling like we're in a pretty good spot so far.
Yeah, definitely doing a great job, and obviously it's awesome to have that clean, competitive competition up front with other league mates. So congratulations to both of y'all for putting on a great show for us to watch up here in the booth, and we will continue to cover that type of coverage week in and week out. But again, just wanted to say congratulations on that win here, and that we really it was really good to see you guys fighting up there just a little bit, and But in any case, we want to give you a little bit of time for maybe any shouts at that car before we let you get out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout out to you guys at Core Racing Network. Amazing work as always. I am so thankful that our league is a part of your broadcast, and it's an honor to have any role in it. So thank you. Shout out to my teammate Glenn Lazan. He's been he showed up and he's really started kicking some behind, if you will, this season, and I think our team championship should be looking pretty good with that in mind. And thanks to everybody that supports me, Team Conti Sim Performance, Digital Sim Sports, Studio 3, Martin PC, Mom, Dad, Aunt Sandy, Anna, Chris, I think you're watching out there tonight. Thanks for always tuning in when you get a chance, and we'll go forward next week. I think next week is Zandvoort, and I still have to buy that track, so we'll see how that shakes out next week.
Yeah, Zandvoort's it's a fun one. If you haven't, if you still have to buy it, it's another good one to have in the portrait of many tracks that iRacing has. But so wish you the best of luck next week, and look forward to possibly talking to you again. But again, congratulations on that first place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Yeah, it's fun, buddy. Thank you.
That is your winner here tonight, the 88 of Craig Jancic, and most likely looking at the top step, not just of the race here tonight, but the point standings as well, with Winslow having his issues. And man, Jimmy, it was not a fun night to be a points leader here in CSRL at Suzuka. Both Singh and Winslow having some major issues.
Yeah, and that happens. You can't always have the perfect week and race, and that's why competitors, you have the point system, and the other drivers have to capitalize when the top runners can't be up front. So, and that's what they did, and hopefully some drivers can gain some ground and capitalize on some of the mistakes of others. But overall, great race at Suzuka here tonight, and looking forward to next week there at Zandvoort.
I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our sponsors here for the Series 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. Rev up your iRacing experience with Replica Racing. They create custom liveries that make your car stand out on the track. Whether you want sleek, bold, or retro designs, their talented team delivers eye-catching, high-performance graphics tailored just for you. Make your mark and race in style with Replica Racing, where your design dreams hit the fast lane. Let's envision the future together. Trying to find, I for some reason don't have the other ones here, but I want to thank the other sponsors here tonight, SimCraft and Martin PC, for their sponsorship and everything that they do. Make sure you check out SimCraft for all your rig and all your rig needs, and Martin PC for all your PC needs, because listen, at the end of the day, you want to feel as realistic as possible. And I forget the Jimmy, what's the term that Chris Hamilton always uses? My immersion. It's immersion. It's amazing how much the immersion really kind of helps you. I mean, whether you want to feel like you're actually sitting in a car, whether you want to feel like you're actually driving a direct drive wheel, it's all these parts that come together. And checking out these places like 40 Racewear gets you the feel with your feet. You got SimCraft with the feel with the rig, and then obviously you need the hardware as well with the Martin PC. So check them all out. Thank everybody once again, but it's going to be a week until we're back here for CSRL. They're going to be at Zandvoort. Going to be a good one out there for myself and Jimmy from the Suzuka circuit. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.